I just think he brings that, the juice and, it's mandatory minicamp, isn't it? I mean, well, you better get on the stick here, Scott. Do your job. But yeah, so I think he'll be. We're excited to have him.
Coach Mike Wesley from WFA. As you've seen Tony Pollard make his way through this offseason, obviously coming back off injury, sure, but how have you seen him ascend into this role now as your main back? And also, what have you seen from Malik Davis, from Ronald Jones, from the guys that are going to kind of be fighting for that second spot?
Well, that's a cool room. I mean, that's a room that really, I think they've all have just really see the opportunity in front of them. Starting with Tony, I think Tony has done an incredible. Tony is outstanding, and he's got a lot of natural leadership. If you watch him in the classroom, extremely bright. He's on top of it. Because there's a lot of new in that room too. We're asking more of our running back position from a responsibility standpoint and pass protection. We've changed some things, and our outside zone is going to be different than it was before. So I mean, this is we've taken a first year approach offensively, so there are a lot of nuances and technique things that they're going to be a bit different. And Tony's frankly chomping at the bit to get out there physically. So I mean, he's been there the whole time, but I think he's done an outstanding job in the leadership role. And I really like the young guys. I mean, Malik and Rico have really stepped up. Deuce has come in here. And I think I just really like the way the group's approached it. They've all been, on top of their P's and Q's. I think Jeff Blasco's doing an excellent job there. He brings a whole different, mindset and outlook, from his background there too. So I think the bigger picture things we're doing conceptually in the run and the pass protection, there's more responsibility there, and we won't really get to see it until May 31st, which is the first day we put pads on. So I think that will tell a story. But I think the running back group has really had a good off season. That's about the fifth time I said that. Everybody's had a good off season, so I won't say no more. So.
Is Pollard able to do anything extra today? Or
no, we're going to be smart there.
Mike Hansen, DallasCowboys.com. Obviously, everyone's had a good offseason. You just said it, but the tight end room is interesting because we parted ways with Dalton Schultz. In terms of Jake Ferguson and his growth and maturity, we know him as a big personality, a guy who brings a lot of energy to that room. But on the field, how have you kind of seen him mature to possibly take over Dalton Schultz's role?
I've really looked at that tight end, group. Obviously, you're asking a question about Jake, but they're all very, very similar. And the first part is, I think clearly that I'll let it go. All right, so they've had a really good offseason in the fact that you're so young, but you look for that second-year jump. So the first part is their understanding of the offense. I really like to look at that room. But really the biggest thing they need to do, starting with Jake and all the way through, is just get bigger and stronger and have that great off season in the weight room. And they've done that. They've been here since the day the season. I think it took a couple of weeks out, but those guys have been there the whole time working out. So, and you could just really see it in their bodies. So they've really developed there, and that's really I think the number one focal point is not now that they played as rookies and in a limited role. Now to be able to play a 20-game season and to get their weight and everything where it needs to be, and they're doing a nice job of that.
Coach, two things. Luke had a boot on last week. How is he? What's his situation?
Yeah, he's doing good. I mean, he's it's something he's been dealing with. So I mean, all these guys that if they're not out there practicing, I don't anticipate anybody having an issue come training camp. So that's the thought process, is just trying to get these guys ready to go. Obviously, with this being the last week, we'll be cautious again. Terrence Steele will be the one that we'll have to see when we get to Oxnard. But yeah, we're just being smart with these injuries.
Okay. Eric Scott got some run with the first team last week. What do you? I mean, obviously it's minicamp and somebody was out, but the fact that he was. What are you seeing from him, and how has he impressed so far?
Tell you about, he's been impressive since the day he came in here on a 30 visit. I think obviously his story and his path through college and the ups and downs that he went through. But I think the way the humility that he showed coming out of it, I thought he did a great job in his interview here. I think the physical traits and ability speak for themselves. And I mean he's probably had first impressions probably near the top of the class. So I mean he's doing really well. I know Dan and Joe and those guys feel really good about where he's picked it up, and but he's off to he's earned the opportunity to get those reps.
Michael Gelkin, Dallas Morning News. You've had a number of offensive linemen who predominantly over the course of their football careers have been tackles that have been working extensively at guard. What does their length inside give you in terms of an advantageous profile when you put them at that guard situation with their tackle length?
Well, I think the obvious. I mean, we all understand that everything at the line of scrimmage starts with the run, but to go win the game, you got to pass protect. I mean, you got to, and that's what this league is. The longer in this league, and the roles are just keep tilted towards the passing game. So length and pass protection. So that's the biggest thing that you see inside with those guys. So and that's something that. I just really, as long as I've been in this league, from a personnel standpoint, when you're looking at college athletes, you usually, you draft tackles, because when you do move them down inside, their natural ability and really the amount of reps they have in college, they have pass protection in their past. Because you got to be able to pass protect in this league. I mean, that's, that's a given.
There you go. Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy right here on 105.3 The Fan. And I do believe we will hear from the head coach again this week.
Oh, yes.
Coming up next, though, in honor of a NASCAR analyst, we ask, what do you hate the most about the airport and flying? Try to limit it to one thing. 877-881-1053. We'll do it next right here.
Mama said there'll be days just like this. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. The name is Law Nation as we continue to grind, to shine. Be sure to smash upon the like button. Let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Let's go. I was building the plane while it was in the air. And it appears that the interview the presser with Big Mike McCarthy is over with, right? But it's all good, baby. As the room fill up, be sure, and I mean just that, smash upon the like button. Yup. Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening to all of you all. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in to the show last night with Brian Broadus. I hope all is well with him. He said he had a surgery this morning. So you guys be sure to reach out to him and make sure to let him know that you guys care about him or what have you. And great details all together last night. I know it's difficult when you have a lot of people on the panel to get your thoughts out and to also interact with you all. But we greatly appreciate each and every last one of you all for being there last night and just tuning in and supporting us. Because when we talk about your voice matter, shout out to Boss Cowboy for that slogan there. I'm always saying being the voice of the voiceless, right? Being able to do what we do in this space and having the people that do it for a living to value your opinions is everything, right? And it goes to show you that everyone have a reason, but results are what matter. But when you start to say things and it begin to become echoes, right? And it echoes and it's because of the nation itself, it goes a long way. Right. And we can go back and forth talking about which organization is the best, which team is the best, which player is the best. But at the end of the day, man, the Cowboys community, in actuality, we are the best. At the end of the day, ain't this right, John Jones? Appreciate you, Spencer. Appreciate you, Thaddeus. Appreciate you, Akeem. Thank y'all so much, man. Al, thank you for jumping in on the Facebook. As we begin to get this conversation going, the things that we want to see out here for the Dallas Cowboys, first and foremost, we want a healthy mandatory minicamp. And take the word mini seriously. It is small for a reason, because when it's time to get out there in the Oxnard, it will be time to make sure that you can decipher who is really the go-to people, right? And who will be willing to be the end-all, be-all as it relates to making this team. And I'm going to pull up some notes from John Machota. Appreciate them and thank those boys for being out there and doing their thing. But it says here, Tyron Smith, he is likely to be at left tackle today, and Tyler Smith will be kicked inside. So Tyron Smith is going to be kicked back to left tackle, and Tyler will be at this particular spot at guard. Now, I don't know whether or not the interview is still going on because we was chiming in on 105.3 The Fan. I'm going to check out the Cowboys.com website just in case if these boys are still doing any other interview there. I really appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all know how this thing goes, baby. Appreciate everybody. Be sure to hit that like button, share this content, let a friend or a neighbor know as we pull this up because I don't want to go over things twice. So give me 1 second here. Let me know how you guys feel. Great show. Appreciate you. Good morning. Shout out to you, Charles White. Appreciate you. Let me see if they're live over here. Hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me. Hail Mary. They're not. They're not. Okay, good. And that was the last one. So they're not. So appreciate you. All right, so here's what I got here. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. It says here from John Machota, he says and John Machota is like the good source of a lot of good stuff, man. He says limited for running back Tony Pollard today during minicamp. Mike McCarthy saying that they're going to be smart. We had a great, healthy conversation just yesterday or last night about this, and let me see if I can pull that up while we are building this thing all together, and it will be good for context. And this will be a video that will be released a little later on today in its small form. And we was talking about, do you lean on going out there and grabbing a veteran guy like a Dalvin Cooks, or do you lean on going out there and waiting to see whether or not a team was willing to pick up this guy by the name of Ezekiel Elliott? Those are the things that we are all going over in this conversation here with Brian Broaddus. Now, my thoughts are, I do like Dalvin Cook. I like his explosiveness. He still had 1,000 yards last season, 8 touchdowns, I believe. And he's been an injury-prone guy. He's been injured for the last 2 seasons as well. He didn't get 12 touchdowns last season. He had 8. And then the season before that, I think he had anywhere between 4 and 5 touchdowns. But it's all depending on how he's been utilized and used, right? Now, if you compare that to Ezekiel Elliott, of course, Zeke is a double-digit touchdown guy. He's a red zone guy, and he's been hurt for the last 2 seasons, especially having issues with his knees. One can argue and say, well, Ezekiel Elliott is washed, right? But his numbers somehow is better than Joe Mixon from last season, who one can argue that, hey, is he washed or is he not, right? But Joe Mixon is looking for a contract. So it's the different caliber of ways of thinking at it. And if you look at Dalvin Cook's resume, he tended to play basketball with the football. Fumbles in other locations may be forgotten for other teams. But fumbles for the Dallas Cowboys, oh boy, they would never forget them. They would never forget them. And I've seen what people say, bang on the table and say, hey, Rojo, he's a fumbling machine. But what if I told you that Dalvin Cook got over 28 fumbles in his career, right? And we're talking about Rojo's fumbles, and he don't have double digits in his career. I think he's got anywhere between 8 and 9. But when we can start contextualizing the amount of totes versus fumbles, but at the end of the day, Dalvin Cook, he will play basketball with the football, and that's just being real. Zeke in the last 2 seasons, I think he only had 1 fumble, and none of them been lost or what have you. So we're gonna have to look into that. Is that a major issue for you? Shout out to you, Gary. He says, great show last night. Law, prayers out to Broadus. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for jumping in for that. All right, and we have some other news. Let me see if I can pull this up. Appreciate everybody for being part of this beautiful episode brought to you by Law Nation Sports. Y'all know how this go. And here it is from John Machota. He said, Cowboys rookie tight end Luke Schoonmaker foot injury isn't considered significant. It is. He has expected to be ready to go for the start of the season. So it's just his foot. He having little issues and it being safe. So we'll find out. Here's the thing. When you start talking about your lower body extremities, sometimes the best healing is rest. And if your feet hurt or if your foot hurt, your whole body hurt. Who heard of sayings like that? Old folks say that all the time. If your feet are hurting, you know what I'm saying, your whole body hurt. So that's the first thing you want to do is make sure that, everything is okay with your lower body, and you want to go into real camp, like training camp, not this mini camp. You want to go into training camp ready, lock loaded. That is so that when it's time to do the evaluation process, there will not be that wishy-washy stuff, man. It would not be that, hey, man, we really like him, but we didn't get a chance to do the full analysis of what he can and can't do. And speaking of that, while the video is loading, I want to say this, Cowboy Nation. Remember we talked about last night, previously, before last night, on how the political agenda, we play a lot of political football. We play a lot of, hey, if this person speaks out, and granted, this could be across the board from everywhere, but when you don't have sternness, right, and you don't have someone that put their foot down and say to you, I don't care about your feelings. Do what I say, Have you ever been in that situation where people say, hey, I'm the adult here, or old folks say, don't do as I do, just do as I say, even though we will be watching what they do. I'm saying this because last night it was revealed to us the absolute truth from Brian Broadus. On the tail end of our conversation, we had a 2-hour convo with him. The reason why Malik Davis didn't get totes, didn't get carries, is because of somebody feeling how is in the world, and trust me, I wanted to expound on that last night. Boy, I wanted to expound on that. So you mean to tell me this brother from another mother, Malik Davis, didn't get totes, didn't get carries because of someone's feelings? Are we trying to win games, or are we trying to make statements? I'm trying to win games. So you got to put that stuff to the side. You fought all season to get there. And just because now Malik Davis, he was probably worried about why am I here or what have you. You deal with that bull sugar on another day. But we trying to win the game. We trying to beat the 49ers. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about how many totes or touches you got. We trying to beat this team. Look. That to me, boy, it got me so hot. But he already had Brian Broadus for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying, boy? But I would have got to go, and we would have had him for 4. So the problem is when you have stern coaching, and you have the hard coaching from the staff, and if you have a disgruntled player, you're going to look at it and you'll weigh your options and say, even though you upset about X, Y, and Z, I got to look at the bigger picture. And you know what I'm about to play? Because you can't be thinking small. You got to be thinking big.
You thinking small. We need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big. Think big.
We trying to win the game, man. And shout out to my guy Ezekiel Elliott, but we knew the guy had only one leg and a half of a knee. Shoot. Malik, hey, I get you, man. You know, Tony Pollard went down. But we're going to have to look, I get it. Kellen Moore. I get all of that. Whatever disgruntled or disagreement that y'all two done had, we trying to win the game, man. You know what I'm saying? We trying to win the game. So 3-4, hey, 20 went down. I need you to be out there. I don't want you to be out there. I need you to be out there. And those are the differences between winning and losing the game. Everybody got to be on the same page. Everybody got to figure out a way to say, I'm trying to win at all costs. And that's what should have happened. Oh, and on top of that, the whole conversation, shout out to Brian Broadus for that information. Even though it may seem small to a few, but that was groundbreaking. That was literally, I wanted to literally, you know, when he said that, breaking news, the reason why Malik Davis didn't get those touches because of his disagreement with the coaching staff, especially the running back coach and Kellen Moore. You know, and he shows up on the score sheet that the guy got. How many touches did he get in that game? How many? 0? 1? I'm telling you guys, I'm glad, I hope that philosophy is out of the picture now. I hope that thought tracker is, since this dude don't want to be the role that he was in, then we ain't gonna give him the ball at all. Nah, we trying to win the game. So that just should be the situation and scenario. All right, so the other conversational piece, did we go over everything? I think we did. I think that people are all at awe at the fact that the Cowboys, shout out to my guy, let me see if I can refresh, because I know there was something else that came across. Yeah, here we go. It says Mike McCarthy on the presser, and it should be released a little bit later on as far as the audio on Cowboys.com. He says Mike McCarthy on Cowboys linebacker Jabril Cox, now being his second season removed from that knee injury / surgery. When you have players that have major injuries that first year back, they are first time getting through it, numbers of thresholds, they need to get over it. I can only tell you, and then they got to drop down. Oh, man, okay. All right, so he says, I can only tell you, where am I at? Where is it went to? I can only tell you that based off of what I see, I don't feel like he is back. He had a really good off-season program, and obviously there are more competitions there too. Major joint injuries take time, basically. And I think you see it each year. They never really totally come back clean immediately. And it's usually the second year where they really feel back to normal. And I believe that's a quote, unquote, from Mike McCarthy. So it do take time, ladies and gentlemen. And that could be an apply-all situation. You can apply that to Jabril Cox. You can apply that to Michael Gallup. You can apply that maybe to Devin Harper. It was a rupture Achilles with Devin Harper. It didn't snap off or what have you. But sometimes the assurity of your mindset, you want to make sure that you are healthy before you get out there. This is a contact sport. This is not tennis or golf or what have you, and one can argue those sports are very brutal. This is a real contact sport. It's football. I'm trying to tear your head off. I'm trying to take your knees out from under you. I'm trying to bust through the chest when I come down to spear you. And those are things that are really, really real. And the NFL tried their best to make this football game a anti-violent game, but in actuality, it is a real troublesome game. It is a real heavy dosage of I'm going to come through the A gap or B gap to make you my baby. And when you have guys that hesitations for the nation tiptoeing through it, you will have lack of it. And when you have people thinking out there on the field, it's also noticeable. Case in point, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about this last night as well with Brian Broadus, and I brought up the question. I said, hey, what's going on with Jabril Cox? And he literally said that George Edwards said that, although he may look and appear to be okay, but he's still thinking, I don't trust him completely. I need for him to be on the same page. Even though he looks and appears to be healthy, he's going to be a healthy scratch because I don't need my guys thinking out there on the field. Zach Luna says being on the Cowboys is almost like racism. No matter what you do, you will always be spat on just because you are a Cowboy. And that's a fact. Respect MM. That's Mike McCarthy. Appreciate you. He compared being a Cowboy fan to being in a situation whereas you're racially identified. I get it. I see the comparisons there, regardless of it. Regardless of what you do, you will always be prejudged, right? You will always not be given the benefit of the doubt. You will always be looked upon and viewed upon as a front runner fan, and not as a diehard fan. If you spit out about the team, and you will always get the opposing team's best, and you will always get the slander and the ridicule from the 4-ladder to 3-ladder network. Whereas they will benefit from the profiting off of you, but will not glorify you, and it will only whisper your success and yell out your unsuccessful moments. And that's just how it goes. By us being the biggest fan base, the general public, we're not that bright of a people collectively, So when you have more of unbright people, right, you have more of the craziest stuff being spit out. And not everybody watch football. You go to a Cowboys game, you sit by someone, they don't know who number 21 is. They wouldn't know who number 33 who played for the Cowboys, legacy and things like that. They probably wouldn't even know. Some people don't even know what number Jalen Tolbert wears. So that's just how it goes. And unfortunately, that's just how the society is. Not everybody's diehard Cowboy fans, by the way. And unfortunately, that's just how it is. And speaking of that, I wanted to share upon this presser from good old John Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones. But let's listen to John Stephen Jones first. Let's listen to what he has to say. We're going to rewind a little bit. Appreciate y'all.
We take to camp and we replace that guy with another guy in the same position. Well, we drafted Lupke, and and he fits a little bit of that mold. And then Jones, we got out of Tampa. He's a strong runner, but everything's up. We're always looking to improve the roster, and if we see something that would make sense for us, and we'd make that move.
Steven, with Demarcus going in the Hall of Fame and doing something in the 2009 game at New Orleans, do you remember that game with him the week before? His neck, he hurt his neck, wasn't sure he was going to play, comes back and he has the 2 sacks of Breeze.
Yeah.
Was that any kind of signature moment for you about him and his career?
It wasn't surprising, but certainly hats off. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, like you said, the guy has a serious injury, and he's just a huge competitor, and goes out there and plays one of his best games. And that's what Demarcus Ware is all about. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. Just not only a great player on the field, but I think a more special man off the field, and represents everything you want in a Dallas Cowboy. It's great to see Bob Lilly in there. Speaking of great ones, but
Bob Lilly.
Obviously, D. Ware fits that same category.
One more and then he's got
Okay, piggybacking on, not Ware, but this is a big money guy. Where are you with the contract negotiations with Diggs, and have you guys begun negotiations? Where are you guys at on that?
Well,
And
we've got a
CD as well.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
Apologize. No, but as you said, we've got more than just Diggs.
Right.
I mean, there's we're obviously, Adam and I are working through, how we would proceed with that, and timing's got to be right for those guys, got to be right for us. But our goal would be hopefully to get, start to chip away at this, because we do have guys up, whether it's a Steele, whether it's a Diggs, whether it's CD. Right on down the line, we've got guys that are going to need to be addressed as we move forward. But our focus is also on winning in 2023.
So there's not an order at all that you want to get them done in?
No specific order. It's just kind of when opportunity arises, and they got to be motivated to want to do it. It seems like more and more guys want to wait, and I understand why. Usually the price goes up from one year to the next, but people don't seem to be as in that type of hurry. But if the opportunity's there, we'd sure like to get 1, 2, 3 of these guys signed.
All right, so basically, and I'm paraphrasing what he just said. He said there's no specific order on the contracts, and I'm gonna tell you guys, there should be an order, especially if you want more and more available funds so that you can get everyone hastily, right, and peacefully. But when you start to think, and it goes back to this saying right here, if you have to ask the question, is this person the one? Is this person really the answer? Then they're not the answer. They're not. You don't have all of your trust. You don't have all of your mind, your heart, soul on this person. And I'm not saying that the Cowboys should, but anytime that you have to go back to the board and say, hey, should we really pay Dak Prescott? Should we really give him that bag? Should we really spend our resources on him? Naturally, organically, the price is going to continue to do this because you're waiting. You're waiting. And my thing is, if you don't believe it in said player, here's my hopes for the future of the Cowboys. I'm talking about 20, maybe 36, 20, 40, whenever we do have a different type of quarterback and a new rookie or what have you. If you have the slightest hesitations or doubts on said player, then it's time for you to go back to the drawing board and see if you can get as much money that you can out of that person for draft picks. They shouldn't have never re-signed him. They should have went out there and said, you know what? We have our doubts. We have our reservations. But therefore, I know for sure we can get 2 first-round draft picks out of him. The Colts really love him. And we'll go back to the drawing board with someone else. We'll be having a whole nother conversation. Now, granted, by holding the feet to the fire on players, that price, that bag is going to continue to rise. And if you don't really have a concise plan to put in front of that player, you would never build out a map to help elevate said player. And you'll be wandering in the dark, hoping that light can shine upon that particular spot and moment. But when you come up with a strategy, a scheme, and a plan, you will then say, I believe in player, therefore I'm going to make sure I get wide receiver. I'm going to make sure I get comfortable situations as it relates to running backs. I'm going to make sure that this tight end, I'm going to build around the thing that I thought that I had doubt in. And then therefore the doubt that you thought you had would never be about, because you done did all of your research and you did all of your studies to make sure that that particular person is put in the best possible position to win the game. All right, and that's just how it goes. Clarence Hill proved you don't have to be good. Greg Berry, what y'all talking about? They have to prove themselves, Law. Minicamp shows that to an extent, shows that to an extent, you don't prove whether or not you're going to pay a person in minicamp. You don't prove whether or not you're going to play a person in mandatory minicamp, or what they do during the actual training camps, nor you don't go and say, I'm going to leverage my ability to extend someone based off of what they do in preseason. Here's 1,000 truths. If you have to wait to that moment in order to extend Dak Prescott to see what he's going to do in minicamp or see what he can do in training camp, then you done missed the boat. There's just impossible way of thinking to say, all right, we're going to wait and see what that guy going to do. No, you see what he was doing during the during beyond training camp and during the regular season. And then you expound upon that. If we were able to win this amount of games during the regular season, then we should be able to win this amount of games in the postseason if we do X, Y, and Z. And if he don't do it in the postseason, if you use that as a marker, then you package what you can and sell it. You see? But unfortunately, by his contract being that it is, you can't franchise tag him and you can't actually trade him because he got the no trade clause in there. So that's just how it goes. Law, just build a team around Parsons. Well, we could try to do that. We could try to do that, and we should do that. But you still got to make sure that whatever you're building, that you got money to build. What's the saying? One must count the cost. Y'all can fill in the rest.
I'd like to say no order, but you would prefer to get something done, at least with one of them here.
We'd love to.
Before camp.
We'd love to do more than one if we could.
Before camp.
If we could. It doesn't mean just because you want to, doesn't mean it's going to
But you guys
takes two to tango.
But you guys are in talks with all of them.
I would say in general, we've touched base with everybody, knowing that we're open-minded to it.
All right.
No doubt. That was Stephen Jones. He says takes two to tango. He ain't lying. Do take two to tango. And you got to make sure that when you're tangling that you got the right thing for it. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Yeah, shout out to you, Black Yoda. He says wide receiver by committee. Here's the truths of it. I don't think that they are doing wide receiver by committee now. You know, you got actual CD Lamb. He's a bona fide good wide receiver. And then you have Brandon Cooks, who the Cowboys fell upon this offseason in a good situation. And then you have, and hopefully he can pan out for us if he can stay healthy. And then you have a returning of a Michael Gallup, who's coming from an ACL situation, that he should be a whole lot better. He should be a whole lot better than what he was last season, Cowboy Nation. Need more depths? Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. Let me see if that audio is available now. Appreciate y'all so much for your patience here. And it should be, here we go. We're going to listen to this right quickly, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. This was from last night.
Dalvin Cook could be possibly released, dog. I don't care.
Yeah.
If you get a Dalvin
Hey,
Cook,
Big.
I mean, this.
No.
Yep.
Don't you down now. Hold on. Let him cook. Let him cook.
I'm
Let him
Hold on.
Now let that man cook.
Okay, well, you can fight me, but all I'm saying, I've been talking about it way before this, like months, when they was talking about cutting him and whatever, and talked about him on the show. Now, for 1 year, Dalvin Cook could be possibly released, dog. I don't care.
Yeah.
If you get a Dalvin Cook,
Big.
I mean, this.
No.
We had to rewind. My bad.
Don't you down now. Hold on. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Hold on.
Now let that man cook.
Okay, well, you can fight me, but all I'm saying, I've been talking about it way before this, like months, when they was talking about cutting him and whatever, and talked about him on the show. Now, for 1 year, okay, it can 1 year, maybe 2, but 1 year, why not? I mean, I know Zeke, powerful bag, short yardage, yes, okay, but dog, if you can have it for a year where you got Pollard, and it's not like Cooks is he can't run in between the tackles, he can do that, and you can figure out a way to make it happen with them for a year. And you don't tell me you couldn't like that backfield. And honestly, do we really want Tony Pollard getting the 20 carries, and do we really
No.
see him? And you just said Schottenheimer is more geared to the more physical type back.
Yep.
So now why not run 2 of these guys at you where you got a 2-headed monster where you don't know where it's coming from? I think that's something that you should look at. I know Zeke, but that's something they should look at because they got the money to do it.
I got a box you on this. It's
Go ahead and
the
box me.
only box is this. This is the only box. Availability. That's it. You know what I mean? In terms of player, I do like the juice from Cook, but in terms of a guy that showed that he's durable, that's gonna give you 12 touchdowns even on a bad leg, I gotta go with the guy that's available.
Well, I gotta fight you back, Boss Cowboy,
Oh no,
because
you
I
did
come
not.
to
Wait, where you
video
come from?
on this, Boss Cowboy. I broke down. That's why you go watch my video, Boss
Your
Cowboy. If
Wi-Fi
you watch
messing
my
up.
video,
Your
you would have
Wi-Fi messing
understood it.
up.
No,
That's good, that's
listen,
good.
no,
I think it's
don't
good.
Wi-Fi me.
That is Wi-Fi.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi.
man,
Yeah.
you
No Wi-Fi.
Up, down, left, right, A/B select.
Bye. He was doing good too. He was doing so good. He was doing so good.
And hey, I wanted to hear it because he was jumping on my team on it. That's why I wanted to hear it because he was on my team. That's what I love about it. He was on my team. You feel me? He was on
Big
my
just
team.
lost an ally. Big just lost an ally
I
because
know,
of the
right?
internet.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I was like, he was rocking with me.
I got to kind of circle back, right? Because the reason why I sent that tweet originally is kind of like what Brian said. Like, it was for me to try to figure out the Luke Schoonmaker draft pick, because when that pick got called, I really didn't understand it. So I had to kind of roll up my sleeves and do some research. I'm like, okay, like Brian said, they want to get stronger at the point of contact. They want to kind of run better in the trenches. And then once they kind of added on Hunter Luke, and then I did the research in regards to Brian Schottenheimer's philosophy of being more of a power guy, I was just like, that's Zeke. You know what I'm saying? So me, it's just thinking that Zeke would be the perfect fit because, one, he's already accustomed to everything in Dallas, so it wouldn't be much of a learning curve. And then two, you pretty much solve the huge issue that Boss Cowboy and also I have as well, is who's going to be your pass pro guy. So like Brian just said, we're trying to get the ball out quicker, but we always know it's not going to be the case. There's going to be some 7-step drops. There's going to be some situations, and we saw Tony Pollard get smoked. Malik Davis is still very green. Deuce Vaughn with his 5'5" stature, can he really hold up? So then it really comes down to maybe Ronald Jones. And when I broke down the film on him the other day from Pass Pro, it really isn't there. So that is one of my huge concerns, especially if you're going to do a lot of shifting with the offensive line. You at least have to have a second layer of protection for Dak Prescott. So for me personally, I would like to have Ezekiel Elliott back, but if not, I'm all for getting Dalvin Cook. If I had to pick between the two, though, y'all put me in a really bad situation. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I would say this. We are moving around the offensive line. We seen Tyron Smith play right tackle, left tackle, right? We seen Tyler being kicked inside as left guard at left tackle. So they are already making the movable chairs or musical chairs with this offensive line. With the doubt of the running back room, because it's the area of the unknown, we are leaning on Rojo to be our power back. And we all know that Tony Pollard, he for dog sure is not a blocking guy. He can get in the way, but that's not his forte. And Deuce Vaughn, we already know, man, people watching right now, kids are taller and bigger than him. And he's 5'5", not to put limitations on the young man, but we hope that he can bring everything up to the table. Like I said, his numbers on the collegiate side of it was right up there with Bijan Robinson, right up there with Jahmyr Gibbs. We don't know. So right now, heading into this 2023 season during minicamp as well as training camp, the biggest reservation that you might have are these two spots, offensive line and running back groups. On the flip side, like I mentioned before in the last 2 weeks, that the unknown could be the benefit of this particular team. Think about this. We were top 10 in rushing last season without a plan, without a scheme, without a philosophy outside of running out of shotgun last year. 4 out of the 5 guys were moved around on that offensive line. So I'm only saying this loosely. If Mike Solari is able to utilize these tackles at guard to make them more athletic, pull them pin to pull, get on the edges, and utilize the running backs from there. Shout out to my guy, Coach Marv, last night with the Super Chat. He literally said that basically to alleviate some of the pressure from being able to block, have your running backs to be the leak out guys, right? Have your running backs to make them pay when they blitz and have predetermined plays. So if someone is shooting through the A or B gap or even on the C, that you already will have that running back in the flat that can make them pay. That will require for Dak Prescott to have a quicker release. That will require some type of format of screen plays, tunnel screens, your bubbles, and all of that, the slips and everything. Put the running back on a wheel route, right? We heard just last week, even Hunter Luepke, he was getting first-team reps, right? So he may be the unknown. This would be a situation for the Cowboys that the element of surprise, all of these teams so used to playing against the Cowboys' philosophy on the offensive side when Kellen Moore was here. Now it's the element like, dang, man, we really can't keen on what the Cowboys are doing. And just as much as we say those are the good things, it can be just as much as these things could be the bad things for the Cowboys. Law, do you have any truths to that? Yes. Just last night, Brian Broaddus also spoke about by having all of this new stuff, a new offensive line coach, a new running back coach, a new play caller. Mike McCarthy, he's going to have some rust factors, calling the plays shoddy. He haven't called a play last year, right? Schottenheimer was pretty much pedestrian when he was in Jacksonville, right? And I don't know which Schottenheimer we're going to get. Are we going to get the variations of the Seattle Seahawks, about to say Eagles, but Seattle Seahawks Schottenheimer, or are we going to get the variations of the New York Jets Schottenheimer? We're going to find out. But it's going to take time. We would never get it right now. It's going to take time because the pad's not on yet. So that's the only thing. We don't know. And it's unfortunate for us. All right. So with that being said, we do have some Jerry Jones audio. It's a little lengthy. And pretty much he's not talking much on a lot of things as it relates to what just was released now. So what we're going to do is we're going to pivot and not even go over those things. But what I'm going to do here is, for right now, show of hands if you guys would like to open up the phone lines and get things going. Somebody says, bring back Emmett. There's a long tooth there, man. And Emmett's shoulder fall off, man. You blow on him. Amped Sports says, I just want to say, hell of a job last night. Felt proud of seeing you brothers represent the community well. You guys inspiring in more ways than you realize. Keep pushing, elevating, and uplifting. Man, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you for that, man. Round of applause. You are a real one. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed, at this time. We open them up early, 657-390-7391. We're going to get this thing going. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I got some film analysis to go over today.
You are the only participant.
And we're going to open these lines up for everyone. All right, so that number is 657-390-7391. How dare I open up the phone line? Ain't nobody in there. I'm like, where y'all at? Where y'all at, dog? Where y'all at? Come on. Where y'all at up in this mug? Come on. Woo! Let's go, man. I got somebody in here, man. All right, I got somebody, man. 214, man. I thought something was wrong with my line, man. What's going on with you, man?
So, indictment number 8.
8? Come on,
8.
Darius. Come on, man.
I left off of 7.
Okay, go ahead with
8.
it.
49ers versus the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy said his players were nervous. The reason why this is an indictment is because Nick Sirianni, the coach of the Eagles, the stinking-ass Eagles, in his second year, not only took them to their first playoff game, won the playoff game, nobody said they were nervous. Second playoff game, won the playoff game, NFC Championship, by the way. Won that playoff game.
So hold on. Wait a minute. Your argument is that Nicholas Sirianni is a better coach than Mike McCarthy. Is that your argument?
Nope, you can't put words in my mouth. What
I'm just trying to fill it in, man. I'm just trying to fill in. You know what you implying.
I'm glad you said that, because Nick Sirianni in his second year, Mike McCarthy has been at this a long time, so he has no excuse for this. Nick Sirianni in his second year took them to the NFC Championship, won the game. Nobody said they were nervous. So the reason why this is an indictment on Mike McCarthy is because he doesn't call plays. He doesn't call the defense. He's not a good clock manager. He's not a good game manager. So at least you can be a good leader of men. If you don't do none of those, that's an indictment on Mike McCarthy. Huge indictment. Indictment number 10.
But hold on before you. Let me give you, because I opened up the phone lines early so we can have this wonderful decorum, of Mike McCarthy versus anybody, and on top of that, what he was up against. For this right here, you do know that Mike McCarthy, even if he wanted to, he couldn't call the plays. This was Kellen Moore's situation from the above, that this is the handpicked child that needed to call the plays. And if Mike McCarthy would start calling the plays, then he would have been axed and Kellen Moore would have been the head coach, because it was already in writing for Kellen Moore to have that spot. So Mike McCarthy had to prove to the people above that your son, the golden boy wonder, he ain't all that. And the only way he can do that is relinquish some of his will on changing some things. But go ahead.
I'm glad you said that, and I understand that. I want you to know I understand that point.
Right. You do understand that. Yeah.
There's a give and a take with that. Okay, Mike McCarthy. So with that being said, since he was he's a chess master when it came to all of that. Guess what? This being your first year calling the plays, you get no excuses. So if you fail, you still get the axe, buddy. You don't get this is his first this is his first year calling the plays, so we gotta give him some leeway. Like, no, you don't. You don't get that. So you live by the sword, you die by the sword, Mr. Chess Master.
True to that, because now he's given the opportunity to call the plays, to bring in his philosophy and scheme, because one thing I can say about Mike, remember, year one, I wasn't Team Mike myself, but I can tell you that at least I can see, and I know you can see too, Darius, that he was a whole lot better than what we had previously, than Jason Garrett. So, but what I can say here with Big Mike McCarthy, there should be no excuses now, because he got all of his philosophy in there, and we shouldn't see these hooks, hitches, comeback routes, and digit system, because he washed away with that, and now he's going with true philosophy of West Coast offense.
I got 4 more indictments on.
But go ahead and get your indictments, man.
I got 4 more before you kick me out, because I know you. Because when I start hitting you you're gonna kick me out.
Wait a minute, go ahead.
So indictment number 9. So y'all, he went 12-5 back-to-back seasons. Okay, I got some records for you. 7-9, 6-9-1, 6-10. He went 7 this is when he was with the Green Bay Packers. 7-9, 2017, 6-9-1, 2018. When he came with us, 6-10. Does that sound familiar? He won 6 games. Now,
Man, the team that won the division only won one more game than us, and it was Washington. I couldn't get Louis T to shut up about it, and I was trying to explain to Louis T that, man, look, give this man a mulligan because we were in a pandemic. You know, the whole world changed, and I get what you gonna say that, hey, there was a team that lifted up that Lombardi Trophy that year. Granted, that team was better suited to do such, but not the Dallas Cowboys because of all of the crazy stuff that was going on. Historically, one of the worst defenses in the National Football League ever.
And so this is what I'm gonna say. So I accredit that 12-5 season more so to Dan Quinn than I do Mike McCarthy, because Mike McCarthy, without Dan Quinn, he's been averaging for 3 years straight by 7 games. But with Dan Quinn, 12-5. I don't think that's a mistake. And the reason why I credit it more so to Dan Quinn is because the defense, we have an identity, number one. And our defense and our team identity is defense right now. Secondly, because the reason why I attribute it to Dan Quinn is because that defense carried us when Dak was going through his slump. So we not gonna make it a Dak conversation, but we gonna keep it 100.
Right.
When Dak went through a slump in the year of 2021, the defense carried us. When we had the defense had to pick Dak up. So that's more on Dan Quinn. Secondly,
all right. But hold on. Let me interject. You know what I'm saying? Because your indictments, man, you sound just like them ladies that's coming after my guy Bill Cosby. Back in 1964, did you know another lady came out on Bill Cosby? You know, she talking about something that happened in 1964 that Bill Cosby did some stuff. You saw that?
I got.
But there got to be some type of statute of limitations on some of these indictments, man. But I'm gonna say this though. Let me say this though, bro. But what if I told you in the last 2 seasons the offense collectively, far as rankings, finished out ahead of the Cowboys defense? So why is that? Why is the defense can't finish out top 10 or even top 5 in categories? What's going on with that? Why the defense not finishing out higher in rankings than the offense? What's going on? Tell me why Dan Quinn, and you know I'm a Dan Quinn man, but why Dan Quinn can't finish out number 1, number 2 in defense? Let me know. Talk to me, man. Bring it out.
Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, so we like Kellen Moore now because that was Kellen Moore's offense.
It was Kellen Moore offense. So why haven't Dan Quinn defense perform higher or better rankings than Kellen Moore's offense in the last 2 years? Talk to me, bro. Talk to me. Break it down.
I can't give you an answer on that. but what I can tell you is that these are facts. That defense, like, come on now. Me and you both know that defense is what carried us. And let's get more recent. Last year, when Dak Prescott went down and Cooper Rush was the starting quarterback, the defense
they did carry us.
Won the game.
Yeah, but the defense needs to finish too. Yeah, the defense need to finish too, just like the offense need to finish. So what I'm trying to collectively say that it takes a collective unit. Efficiency is what needed with this particular team. A philosophy is what needed with this team. When Dak Prescott went down, the team reeled back and said, you know what? We're gonna play complementary football. We're not finna have this dude Cooper Rush throwing the ball everywhere. We're gonna play to the strength of our team. But when hear me out, when Dak Prescott came back, Kellen Moore was like more so of, hey, we're going to rev it back up and get these touchdowns and light up the scoreboard again. But it was Mike McCarthy who got angry and frustrated at Kellen Moore in that Green Bay Packers game because they was up by 14 points and they did some things differently and they went off schedule. So you can't have different philosophies on the team fighting each other. everybody got to be on the same page. And hopefully Mike McCarthy now, he won't even have the statement of saying you install it, you call it, because Schottenheimer and Scott Tolzien and Mike McCarthy should be on the same page now because they from the same philosophy.
Well, that's cool. I got two more on them.
You got some more indictments. God, no. What's he going to serve? What's his sentence going to be served, man, if these things don't go through? What's his sentence?
I got two more.
Get two more, man. Go ahead.
So after Mike McCarthy was so good. Mike McCarthy was such a good, phenomenal head coach for the Green Bay Packers. He was so good. Guess what? The Green Bay Packers fired his good ass.
They did.
So once they fired his phenomenal Super Bowl winning ass, guess what the Green Bay Packers did? 13-3, 2019, 13-3, 2020. Aaron Rodgers won the MVP in both years. Whoa!
How many playoff games? How many playoff games did they win too? You know what I'm saying? How many playoff games did they win since Mike McCarthy was there? You know, let me know. I want to know. I need to know. I got to know. The nation got to know.
I don't know. I don't know how many playoff.
Can somebody put that in the chat? Can somebody put that in the chat?
But check this out though. But here's my rebuttal to that. like, come on. Y'all always talk about he went 12-5, 12-5. Buddy. Okay, the Green Bay Packers went 13-3 after he left. But while he was there, they couldn't get to the game.
Since Mike McCarthy left Green Bay, who got more playoff wins? The Cowboys or Big Mike McCarthy? You know what I'm saying? Back down to Green Bay. Wait a minute. Hold on, bro. Wait a minute. But you just mentioned back-to-back MVPs, 13-4, 13-4, and I looked at the resume. Since Mike McCarthy left those boys, they haven't done anything there too. They got 0. So I guess if Mike McCarthy was there in Green Bay, they would at least have one playoff game just based off of those numbers, right?
That's cute. That's cute.
That's anecdotal, huh? That's anecdotal, huh? You don't like anecdotals back at you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but go ahead.
That's cute. But since the regular season records carry so much weight with you guys, since they carry so much weight. How about that? So those two regular season records, 13-3, without Mike McCarthy, that's a huge indictment on him. Like after he leaves, they get better. Wow, crazy. So in closing, this is my last statement. My whole point is, it doesn't take long to figure out if you have a good head coach, a great head coach, or a trash head coach. Exhibit A, Coach McVay, his first year with the Rams in 2017. He won Coach of the Year. Next, Exhibit B, Brian Daboll, in his first year as a head coach. We know this. He won Coach of the Year in our division. Crazy. Exhibit C, Jim Harbaugh, in his first season.
Let me stop you on this indictment, though, right quick. The guy that won Coach of the Year didn't beat the coach that you're talking about. Did the Giants beat Mike McCarthy this year?
No, they didn't.
They didn't. Oh, and excuse me. It goes back to this thing that even I've seen, whereas they lifted the Minnesota Vikings coach and they placed him above Mike McCarthy. I think that Mike McCarthy is getting shanked by the butter knife from the 4-letter to 3-letter network, and including you. Because we right now will be looking at this particular organization and franchise backwards if we were to get swept by the Giants, right? But we can sweep the Giants, but it don't mean anything. We can beat the Minnesota Vikings by 38 points or 39 points. 37 points, I believe, and it don't mean anything. But let Mike McCarthy lose a few games because of some decisions of timeouts or because the young offensive coordinator want to throw the ball 14 times when they up by 14 points crazily when all they had to do was just run the ball and milk the clock. But I get you. I get what you said. Brian DeBall is the best coach in this particular division because he won Coach of the Year because what he did to the Giants to help elevate them to get to the playoff team. You know, I can't make this stuff up. But go ahead.
And I'm okay. That's cool. But I got So since you said that, I got one for you. Buddy. Check this out. Kyle Shanahan. We're going to say something about him. Check this out. In his second year as a rookie-ass head coach, boy, second year, NFC Championship. In the second year, NFC Championship, not only went, but won, and then got to a Super Bowl. So we're going to say something about him versus Mike McCarthy because he got his number. Mike McCarthy ain't beat Shanahan for the Cowboys yet. So this is my whole point. I love my team. I love the Cowboys. I feel like we're wasting time with Mike McCarthy. Brian Daboll went to the freaking playoffs with nobody. Nobody. And Saquon Barkley and Kayvon Thibodeau, guess what? Let me tell you something. If Brian Daboll get a real team, guess what, NFC East? You in trouble.
Or Darius, you gonna pull out your Giants. You gonna pull out your Giants gear, man. I appreciate
Hell
you. Shit. Man, we just swept. Did you know? Can somebody let me know? Did we sweep the Giants last year?
They went with nobody. Yes, we did. But what I'm saying is, this is a problem. We don't have time to be fooling around with Mike McCarthy. We need a real head coach so that we can keep sweeping these people.
Who would be your real head coach right now? Right now, who's open and available? Who's open and available right now? Who will be your real head coach? That's better than Mike McCarthy right now. That's flat out better than Mike McCarthy right now.
It's not going to be nobody with no quote unquote credentials because Nick Sirianni didn't have credentials. But look at that. Brian Daboll didn't have credentials, but he won that. McVay didn't have credentials. Jim Harbaugh didn't have credentials. It's not my coach that I would rather have over Mike McCarthy is not going to have the credentials over him.
So you got to have your argument together. You got to have somebody. You got to have some type of market research. So Eric Bieniemy right now will be a better head coach than Mike McCarthy right now.
I will take Eric Bieniemy, and to keep it 100 with you, I take Dan Quinn. No cap. I take Dan Quinn or Eric Bieniemy over Mike McCarthy right now today.
Well, we'll find out, man. EB, we'll see him 2 times this year as well. And based upon your thoughts, the Washington team should sweep the Cowboys if EB is a better coach. No. If he's a better coach. If he's a better coach.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said he's a better coach, and I would rather have him as my head coach for the Cowboys. But when it comes to that Cowboy shit, I'm going to say ain't nobody going to beat us. But when it comes to the coach, I would rather have a different head coach than Mike McCarthy.
All right, well, we'll find out. I'll put a placeholder on that, but I don't be thinking about you, man, when we play the Giants. Matter of fact, I don't be thinking about you when we play the Eagles, Giants, and Washington, Darius. No. I don't be thinking about you, bro, because it's all on Mike McCarthy. It is all on him. It is all on him. I'm not finna move away from that part of it. But I'll be thinking about you, bro.
Think about me when Mike McCarthy ain't coaching right.
I would definitely do that, man. I appreciate you so much, bro. Let me hear you say it, man. Come on, man. Let me hear you say it, man.
Live and die by this Cowboy shit. And die by this shit.
Come on, man. Let me see. How about them Cowboys? At least for your boy, man. Come on, man.
Oh, how about them Cowboys? Jimmy Johnson didn't let the team eat after they lost a game. That's the type of coach I need.
No doubt, Darius. Appreciate you, bro. Shit. Oh, my gosh, man. Woo. All right, man. All right. Let me get the... Man, boy, that's the best part of waking up, man. Oh my gosh. All right, let me get the Paddock man. Let me see if I can find the Paddock man and get him up off my phone. But I give it what he said, but not all the way with what he said. Now, granted, I would be crass if I say, man, the 49ers don't have Mike McCarthy number. They got Kellen Moore's number. But, that'll be me, not putting anything on Mike McCarthy, but I truly believe, like I said earlier, that this team allowed political pressure to step into the way. The disagreement that Malik Davis had with Kellen Moore shouldn't have been the issue of him not getting touches. They should have said, you know what, it's about winning this game. My guy Tony Pollard went out. I get it. Malik Davis, during the training, during that week, we knew that you had spats with us. We going to forget all of that. We need for you to be out there. Malik Davis and Zeke, not just Zeke. The man was out there with the 49ers with one leg. Zeke had literally one leg. He was slow to the touch. And you didn't give because of the spat or the disagreements that you had. You know what I'm saying? Malik Davis some touches. Man, how many points did we lose to the 49ers by? I got from the 315, you're live. From New York. New York?
Hey, yeah, New York, NY.
NY, man. What's your name, man? Let me save you in here, man.
Jared Harvey. Yeah, I've been on here before. You said hey a few times.
Okay, Harvey. Okay, let me put you in here. Related to Steve Harvey?
No, I wish.
Like, oh, come on, Uncle, you know what I'm saying? Come on, Uncle Steve.
Come on, break out some.
I listen to his nephew Tommy every day, man. It put a smile on my face, man, on how he calls into those people, just be messing with them, man. Nephew Tommy on the Steve Harvey Morning Show is always dope, man. But what you got for the show, bro?
Well, I've been listening. I've never called in to nobody, you know, but I've been listening. I'm one of them put my ears out but stay quiet type, you know, when them subtle. But I've been listening to all this hearsay and whatnots and Mike McCarthy's garbage and Kellen Moore shouldn't have left, but yet he should have. Blah 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 blah. You've heard it, you know.
Yeah.
I don't see it being on Mike McCarthy as much as old dude was talking about. Obviously, he has credentials that surpass anyone really besides DQ that's on our team right now. And the fact of making DQ head coach, it sounds good. Don't get me wrong. Not that I wouldn't enjoy the possibilities of it. And then in the near future, who knows?
But Harvey, this is what I'm gonna say with DQ. He's a more of a assertive when he speaks.
Yeah.
But my only thing is I don't want to divide him because he does such a hell of a good job with the defense.
Exactly.
When we out there in training camp, he's a hands-on guy. Literally, he's on there with his hands with the players, and he don't have time to be thinking about special teams as well as offense. You know, I want him to stay with this defense.
Don't stuff the cookie jar. Keep it full. That's it.
Yeah.
But my thing is why I think the defense hasn't shown up like last year as much as they did in other years with Dan Quinn is because now he's up in them stands. He's up in them boxes now. I think, like you said, when he's down on that field, he's giving the teammates his energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when he's up in that box, obviously, you could see better. Everyone knows that. But them players aren't feeling that energy, I feel like that first year when he was here.
Uh-huh.
You know, like when Micah Parsons broke out and no one seen it.
Yeah.
Like, because he was down there doing what he needed to do, changing the scheme or whatever he needed to do from the line, for one. And then for two is my Zeke thing. I don't necessarily want him back.
You don't want Zeke back.
I don't hit the man. Kudos to everything he's done for us.
Right.
And yes, he is a team leader. So if he did come back, I would want to see him in like a running back coach type role, not a player role. Because I think that he would have a lot to offer this team as like a bystander, like a coaching.
Hey, that is wow right there. So you expecting him to retire and just come back as a coach? That would be kind of wow. You know, I think
that's how I'd want to see it. That's how I'd want to see it.
Yeah. So for Zeke's sake, I would say this. I know it's difficult for for us to really put Zeke into that class of, hey, this dude is now retired after of having, you know, close to 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns, and he's just a shell of himself. I would at least want to see two things. Zeke go to a team that values running backs from a strategy aspect, right? Or two, for him to look at the market. We know that the high end of the market is $6 million, right? The running backs are not getting paid above that now. And for two, if he comes back, let him come back with his hat in his hand, right? And saying, I'm coming back in the capacity to bring wisdom and knowledge to the game, to help out, and to be only the short yard back. Because I don't think the 12 times that he scored a touchdown for the Cowboys that we was like, oh, man, get him up off of there. You know what I'm saying? Because there was many of times we got to the goal line and we seen them trying to feed Tony and he couldn't get in. So they was like, man, let's go and put Zeke in there. And then we saw him doing the feed me emoji motion. So hopefully those two things can happen in my world.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him as that get the yards back. You know, that, like you said, like that bushing, you know, get that touchdown or what have you. But I just don't see him wanting to take a role like that. And if he did, that it wouldn't be as productive as we would hope, because in the back of his mind, he'd be like, is this really all I am? You know what I mean?
I mean, you want to get this ring? You know what I'm saying? Like, we seen this before, man. You know, Harvey, we seen this before with the Steelers. Fast Willie Parker was really fast. Willie Parker was really fast. Jerome Bettis was old and gray, you know what I'm saying, about the size of a school bus, literally. And they was like, all right, hey, you know, Bettis, you was the dude, man. You was the bell cow. Yeah. But at this point, you got to take a seat back. Huh?
If you watched him last year, like that interview with Tony Pollard, though. Yeah, they tight, they cool. You know, I understand that, but mainly that's because they're on the same team and in the same room, learning the same things. I think he was also a little like taken back by it because he knew what was going to happen.
Right.
He foreseen the future, if you want to say it.
Right.
And you can see it on his face if you go back and look at it.
Right.
You can see it on his face where they're like, oh, so you guys are splitting the touches. How do you think about that? And yeah, he's saying what needs to be said, but you see it in his face like his pride is kind of getting hurt, you know? And that's why I don't think he would come back in a role like that or want to, and wouldn't be as productive as we would hope like that, because that in the back of his mind would be plaguing his production a little bit.
I get it, the feelings aspect of it, but you know we seen some crazier things happen in the National Football League. But what I'm gonna say here though, before we even give Zeke that shot, let's see what these guys can do now, right? And then
I don't want to see Zeke yet.
So let's just see what we got now. You know what I'm saying, out of these young guys, and if injuries do occur, and that was the whole conversational piece, even with Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook looks good now, but the dude had 5 fumbles last season. And I remember Zeke fumbled the ball one time, and y'all couldn't hush about that. You know what I'm saying? You know, so you know, and the last, put like this. And you know what's crazy? Tony Pollard don't fumble.
Yeah, that's true.
Tony Pollard, last fumble Tony Pollard had was in 2019. We moved the ball all the way down on the Eagles, got down to the goal line, run his own red zone. You know, Zeke tapped his helmet, got off the field. They put Tony Pollard in, and his first play was a fumble. That was the last time he fumbled the ball. And it's crazy.
He learned from that mistake.
Yep.
And the thing is, we weren't learning from our mistakes.
Yeah. But Cooks, he fumbled every other touch, man. But I ain't trying to dog Cooks, man. But it's just what it is. Sometimes, you know, we look at the outside and say, hey, this guy would be better for us. But then when we get him, he kind of fumble that ball. But I appreciate you, man. What else you got for it, man? Before I let you roll.
You know, I just want to give a shout out You know, how about them Cowboys, man? That guy didn't do a good enough.
Yeah, he was still mad, man.
He's like,
Yes,
how about
indeed.
them Cowboys? I'm like, come on, man.
Shoot, you know what I'm saying. But
So,
appreciate
that's all
you,
I
bro.
got for you now, I'll call in again for sure, though.
No doubt, man, Harvey, man. Appreciate you, man. Reach out to your uncle, man, and let him know, man. Send us some coins, man. I know he got like 4 or 5 jobs, man. No doubt, man. Salute, bro. Yes, indeed. Oh, he got a super chat from Charlie. He says nothing, basically. He just dropped the $10 in the super chat. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, Charlie Matthews Jr. You know, appreciate you. Are you related to Bruce Matthews and, and Clay Matthews? Let me know, man. Let me know, Charlie. Next we have on the dial 254 from Waco. You're live.
Clay Matthews, let me know, man. Let me know, Charlie.
We'll circle back to the 254, man. From the 469, what's on your mind?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
I have a question about the mini camps. You put up yesterday that they were trying out some other guys, and I know they've been talking about different things and how everybody's doing in the camps. Why are they not talking about, or is it not panning out with like the Croppers and the Durtons and the other people? Why they're not talking about them? Like what's going on with them to where they went over them and brought in some other guys? So what's happening with that?
Well, I think, and I hear echo. You got me on in the background. Can you turn me down a little bit, just a little bit? And what's your name?
Keitra.
Keitra? Okay, let me save you in here, Keitra. That's a good observation there. Right now, Keitra, these people that's in OTAs, it's still not enough evidence to see whether or not those guys can make it, because they haven't started 11-on-11 drills or the 7-on-7 competition drills all the way. So when we get to training camp, they need bodies. I think that the number is, and I could be wrong on the number, I think it's 93. And those 93 guys going to go out there and compete. But by Antonio Callaway being suspended and then getting kicked off the team, they would have put them at 92, and they got to have the bodies. And that's what the bottom line is. So that's why they picked up Tyron Johnson, just yesterday.
And I was on the live last night, so you did a real good job pulling out those dates for the training camp from Brian Broaddus last night too.
Yes, indeed. You saw that. So I'm already marking my calendar for those time parameters to see if I can get out there and have that work case.
And I hope you guys get to get with him and do one out there at the training camp too.
No doubt, Keitra. I can't wait to have a great time out there, and it's always good. I always root for the underdog, so I'm rooting for Durden. I'm rooting for Jalen Cropper, and now I'm rooting for Tyron Johnson. I'm rooting for these guys that's on the bottom end of the roster to see if they can turn the heads to make some plays out there.
And I won't hold you up, but I was going to say, I really got obsessed with, just the football and all this and watching these podcasts, so I watch all the night. I get up in the morning and I look between all of you guys' things, and I learned a whole lot about, what's going on by the way you guys break everything down. So I really appreciate it.
Oh,
went on and got my subscription in and all of that stuff. So, y'all got, you're doing a good job and really appreciate it. Love the Cowboys. I'm always there trying to find something to go to meet them. So.
Oh wow! We will be having meet and greets, and we'll be having a lot of things for the 2023 season. So I can't wait to see you out there at one of the events.
Okay.
No doubt. Appreciate you, Keitra.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on! Before you go, hold on. Let me hear you say it.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, baby, let's go. Oh, yes, indeed. That made my day right there. See, Darius, that's how you say how about them Cowboys, Darius. Next time you call in, we need to hear it just like that. We need to hear it. So somebody corrected me, it's 90. So we got to have our 90 guys out there. I said 93. I bet you somebody's like, man, I wish it was 93. But it's 90. So that's a lot of people. And camp body is a real thing. There will be nicks, bruises. There will be people that's going to get suspended, DUIs. There's people gambling. So there's going to be a lot of things. And we hope that those things won't be the situation for all Cowboys for this season. But there are 90 guys. And I'm going to tell you about out of that 90, only about 40 of those guys are in there sketched in stone, so they're not going anywhere. But the 90 people collectively, they better be sitting here looking at this opportunity and saying, I'm not finna let it up. You know what I'm saying? And that's where your name can be called and you can be on the 53. And I think that they elevated the 46 active day roster to 48. Y'all can let me know that too in the chat. So here goes a few dollars for the ID fund. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Amp. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. Will there be another? I don't know. Another what? Let me out. Help me out. Appreciate y'all, man. All right, I got from the 585. Then I got my guy Marv in the chat. 585, you're live.
Yes.
You're live. Talk to me.
Yeah, how you doing, Law?
I'm doing great. Who's this? Who I'm speaking to?
My name is Sheriff.
Sheriff.
Okay. Sheriff State. I'm on your chat too. I really like your show, and I just appreciate so much that you have to say, and some of the other callers have come in. Such a good argument regarding the coaching, and I'm with you. I think that if Dan Quinn was going to be coaching, I think he needs to stay right on defense. I don't think that.
Right.
I really don't think that he would be good to fill in for Mike. I remember when Mike was off. There were a couple weeks. This was last year, and Mike and Dan came in and filled in for Mike, and I was watching him, and he was right there. He was, high-fiving the guys when they came back. Offense and defense. But I think that Dan needs to stay on defense.
Yeah. Dan Quinn got a little of what's that coach name in Seattle? Is it Pete Carroll?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can see Dan Quinn got a little of that in him. Pete Carroll know how to relate to the players, right? And that is very good. The only way I would want Dan Quinn to be the head coach is if all else fails, right? And they say, well, we're going to elevate Dan Quinn, and maybe you get Joe Witt Jr., because I still want Dan Quinn philosophy to stay in this building. That philosophy of allowing, his team to excel and meeting them where they're at. And I think that's what Dan Quinn brings to the table. I don't know for sure if Mike McCarthy got that type of relationship with the players, but I know for sure that Dan Quinn got that. But I don't want it right now. I want us to stay to the path.
Yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely. And I think, too, Mike may not have that same energy like Dan Quinn, the high five and everything. But I think you need to have Mike the way he is.
Right.
The only thing that drives me nuts that Mike does is when they have a bonehead play or something goes on, he puts his arms together and he looks like he puts his arms together and he has this look on his face like he's been sent to detention in school.
Yeah, he do have that face and that distraught look. From a marketing aspect, I think that you can market Dan Quinn better. I think that Dan Quinn is a better speaker, right? And Mike McCarthy kind of muffles his words. He kind of try to withhold some stuff, and as always, he don't want to give you a lot of information. Whereas Dan Quinn, he will spit out the information on this level, whereas you be like, and and then it won't hit you until like 3 or 4 weeks later. And my guy Boss Cowboy did some reports on that, on how Dan Quinn will give you a little Easter egg here and there, but you would not see it until like 2 or 3 weeks later. So that's always a great thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Mike, Mike has the background. He's got the experience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with what the other guy said. About. I mean, Mike. He's 12-5 both years, and now he's going to be calling his own plays. And I think you're going to see a whole new chapter when he starts calling his own plays. And I agree with you. I think he let Kellen Moore just go ahead and do those
dumb stuff, right?
Stupid passing when they should have been running. They should have been running all those. When they're. I mean, there's no excuse for some of the stuff that they did. What you're going to have. You're going to have Zeke be the center. Remember that last play? That would have been the dumbest thing I ever saw.
Did you hear what Brian Broder said last night? That pretty much after that Green Bay Packers game, the tensions were so heavy between Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore, you can cut it with a knife, basically.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. So I mean, if Kellen Moore, at some point, you'll forgive your own son, right, of doing some crazy stuff because you know where they're coming from. But when it's not your own, it's kind of like, I don't know if this person's trying to sabotage me, but I told him that I don't like these option routes, and I told him that I don't like X, Y, and Z, and they continue to do the things over and over again. So it had to be a divorce between the two.
You're right. That's right. And, you were saying earlier about, now, I don't know. You probably know it. I mean, I didn't know this about Malik not getting touches because of bad feelings with Kellen. Now, I don't know. Is that really what happened? Because I was like, why don't they throw Malik in there? That guy can bulldog right for 3 yards, no problem at all. I mean, he's built like a Sherman tank anyway.
Right. Right. That is exactly what Brian said. Basically, that was the temperature that week. In that game against the Buccaneers, we kind of handed the Buccaneers. We beat them really, really bad. And leading up to that week, Malik Davis wanted to be more in tune with the offense. He wanted to be more with the game plan or what have you. And from what he said, basically, that there was tensions, there was disagreements, and there was disgruntled. And lo and behold, that week, it was a short week, believe it or not. So it was a quick install. And they got into it. And Tony Pollard went down and, it's time for me to call you up, but since you got into it with us, we're not gonna give you the ball.
Yeah.
And I hate those type of things that happen because we as Cowboy fans, we don't care about how all of that stuff went down. We just want to win the game, and especially against the 49ers.
That's right. I mean, just at the end of the game, you need to win.
Yeah.
And I just, for some reason, I still have bad taste in my mouth watching, old Stinky as he's called. Arrogant Roger. Aaron Rodgers has this thing about when he beats the Cowboys, he always has this little, it's almost like flipping off the fans.
Right, he do have that little smirk on his face. That's why I can't wait till week 2, man. I appreciate you for calling in, Sheriff. Thank you, man, so much.
Okay, thanks for having me.
No doubt. That was a good call from him. It's one of those things, ladies and gentlemen, that we can look back at it and say, come on, man, we just want to win the game. We don't want – look, if y'all – look, we got all off season to go back and forth over all of this. But when people say this game is a game of inches, literally – it's a game of inches. One missed field goal. Look, I've literally witnessed 3 Super Bowls being won by the Patriots because of the kicker. But you got to also understand how they were able to get in range to kick the kick, right? One can argue that the legacy of the Patriots started with that fumble thing with the Raiders, in that playoff game, right? The forward pass or the open hand pass, whatever, And this game is a game of inches. And when you hold grudges, when you hold things in and not allowing your team to compete at its optimum level because of feelings, come on, man. Let's go to my guy, MJ from the 206. You in the mix.
What up, Law? How you doing,
Nothing to it, man. Holler at me, man. Talk to me, bro.
I watched the show last night. You guys, that was good. The broadest, that was tight.
Yeah.
And you kept them on point because they was trying to come with that woo-woo, like y'all say.
Yeah, wee-woo, yeah.
God damn!
Yeah, yeah.
Try to come with that woo-woo, you got them. Because everybody won't let the camp play out. Everybody trying to be coaches. These guys ain't even got in the practice to see it. They ain't got in the preseason game.
Yeah.
I'm like, man. It's so much, people worry too much, man. Just let them get in there and play, man.
I know, man. It's mandatory camp start today. They said Trayvon Diggs would be there. But my camp, my biggest camp thing is what I can't wait to see is Jalen Monroe Cropper, right? I just like the underdog so much, and I like the dirt end. I like even the guy that they picked up, even though he played for 10 or 11 teams. But you just never know, man, on how a change of scenery, different levels of competition can bring out the best in you, or it can bring out the worst.
Yep. That was some good tape. That receiver, that fast receiver, I love speed like that. I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting down the field like that?
Yep.
You got him and Cox out there? If whoever. I'm like, send me
Yeah,
two.
Cropper.
Like, man, that's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah, on the defensive side, yep. And let's not forget about the other guy, Kevontae Turpin. He's going to be a guy that I can see literally if he runs a deep over. Put it like this: shake me with the butter knife if you want, but anything that Brandon Ayuk can do, Turpin can do, and he can be the Brandon Ayuk. Now I know Brandon Ayuk is baby Debo because he kind of got that mindset that he gonna try to knock you over. But far as quickness, separation, I think that Kevontae Turpin, if polished right and knowing this offense, he can do those things too.
Man, I'm just saying that the team got so much talent.
Yep.
And they weren't. The scheme said it's gonna be a good scheme. Because everybody play football. That don't leave you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody that dumb.
Yeah.
So them guys will pick up that offense and the scheme, and it's going to be beautiful. Because everybody keep thinking what he mean by running is like if it's 2nd and 2, he's going to run the damn ball.
Yeah.
He ain't going to throw no. Now, if they're all stacked to the line, that's when you can do that play action. That's when is good at that anyway. And you can probably hit one over the top on him. You know what I'm saying? And then they talking about McCarthy. You got to get him, man. Can't be, if a guy wins a Super Bowl, man, you can't talk about it. That's what I was talking about when everybody, me and my friend on the other show, basketball show, they was talking about LeBron James. And I said, my favorite player is Kobe. But I told the people on the show, you guys got to stop talking about LeBron James. The dude got the most points. The guy got 4 titles. He been to 10 championships. He 4-6. And then Michael Jordan make it. LeBron made a championship after the 4th time. It took Jordan 7 times. So right there, LeBron got the ups on him. He been to 10 championships. So if y'all want to play them numbers, only thing Jordan got on him, 6 titles. He just ain't never lost, but you never knew what he lost. as he got older. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, though, like it's so many layers to that, conversation. But Jordan, I shout out to him, man. Every kid when we were growing up, they loved Jordan. I was the only one that didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Laker guy. I was a Magic guy. You know what I'm saying? And
Dr. J was my boy.
Dr. J was your guy. So, but I didn't root against him though, because I know greatness when I see it. I was not foolish of it, but I also understand the super team. I also understood what Pippen brought to the table, and I'll be foolish to think that Dennis Rodman, if I would say Dennis Rodman was a nobody, I'll be crazy, right? So, and Luke Longley and all of those boys, it goes hand in hand,
And look, my favorite player in college, he whooped Jordan, he whooped Worthy and Jordan, but at the same time, and Perkins.
Yeah.
You know who I'm going to say? Lynn Bias. and I hated the Celtics.
Yeah.
And the Celtics got him. I was like, I was so pissed. And the Celtics, they was about to win. I'm crying. What y'all say? If that dude would have died, they was going to win about 7 or 8 championships, man. The guy 6'8", strong as an ox, could shoot, jump out the gym, could shoot 30-footers. He was the most complete. He was hitting 40 on Jordan here.
Yeah,
So,
he biased.
you do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this though. Let me tell you the first Steve, not Stefan. Steve Kerr, right? Yeah, Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Steph Curry. Let me tell you the first Steph Curry. Craig Hodges. He was the first Steph Curry. Yeah, I'm talking about for the Bulls, that joker come down there, and it was ugly but deadly. That joker would shoot. He shoot the lights out, But people fail to realize, man, that team, man, come on, man. Look, Jordan was 1-9 in the playoffs before, everything started getting together. But I'm gonna say this though, man. Even basketball collectively is a team sport. And when you win, dog, you get all of the praises, and people will dismiss everything that happened beyond that time frame. So, granted, LeBron James, I never was a big fan of LeBron James, and it goes all the way down to a whole bunch of other things. But I can still recognize that the dude is a baller, man. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm. Like I told the people last time on the show, I said everybody. It's a lot of gold.
Mm-hmm.
I said Kobe is my favorite player.
Yeah.
So everybody stop talking about this dude. I'm talking about them dudes. But look, my team is the Cowboys. They hate us. My team is the Lakers. They hate us. So you gonna get the hate.
Before I let you go, man, who you think gonna win it, man? Is it gonna be Denver or is it gonna be the Heat?
I'm gonna tell you something. It's so embarrassing. Now, before we get out here, if the Heat win, that is the best coaching I ever seen in my life. It's like me and you playing for the Heat, and we came out of high school and we on the team and we winning and we beating everybody. So that shows you right there, you don't need 3 all-stars on basketball. If you got heart, and they got heart. And that's why we so mad up here in L.A., because the Lakers had that good team, and Darvin Scam can't coach. That shows you right there he can't coach, y'all. So if we don't win again, that means he can't coach. They win with G-Leaguers, and we had all them players, and we can't even win. Man. So that's the same thing with football. It's going to come with the coaching. And one more thing, they keep bragging on the Philly coach. Now, if the Philly coach wins 3 Super Bowls, then you could call him great. Right now, he ain't won nothing. And it's going to be hard for him to win this year because everybody stacked that defense. The Redskins stacked that defense. They know how to play Philly. The Giants stacked that defense. That's why they brought L. Robinson over there to go with the other boy to stop that stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the Cowboys got the big man. We're not big people. So everybody keep thinking on y'all. Oh, it's going to be so funny, Law.
But, the Eagles got a unique history, right? It's like far as their coaching. You know, we ain't talking about Wade, Buddy, Ryan days and all of that, and the other black coach that they have, got his name, it's tip of my tongue. Rose, right? What was his first name?
Yeah.
Coach Rose. But we can talk about, you know, some Eagle fans don't even know who those coaches were, believe it or not. But if you were to line up a room, Andy Reid, right? And then you put in, let's say, Chip Kelly, and you put in, what was the other guy that went to the... no, not Dick Vermeil, but I'm going with Andy Reid, Chip Kelly. I'm talking about in that order. Who was the next coach from there? What was the guy from Andy Reid? What's his name?
What's that guy's name? Oh, he got fired.
He got fired. I mean, he's in Jacksonville now. What's his name?
Yeah. I can't think. I know he's talking about everybody.
God dog, y'all help me out. Doug Peterson. Yeah, Doug Peterson and Nicholas Sirianni. If you talk to Eagles fans now, they're going to say, Nicholas Sirianni is the greatest coach of them, you know, of them all, even Dick Vermeil. He's the greatest coach because they live into that moment spell that they would say that. But in a nutshell, if you really think about it, Andy Reid was their best coach. Andy Reid kept them in contentions, and Andy Reid was their best coach, and they don't have him. And it took an Andy Reid disciple for them to win the Super Bowl because he came back with that philosophy where Andy Reid kind of put into a system, and it was Doug Peterson. So and it was, yeah. He's the disciple of Andy Reid, right? You know, he started off with Andy Reid. So it goes to show you that, you know, they got rid of two of their best coaches. Now, Nicholas Sirianni, he had a loaded team, and I'm not finna take that away from him because he still had to coach that team to get to the Super Bowl. And they lost the Super Bowl by 3 points. Not like they got blown out, by the way, and they were up. You know what I'm saying? So for the half of the Super Bowl, they won half of the Super Bowl. They was up at halftime by 10 points. But we'll find out who Nicholas Sirianni is this season, man. If he take them back to the Super Bowl this year, then I'll give him some graces. But 9 times out of 10, it ain't gonna happen, dog. It ain't gonna happen, man.
It ain't gonna happen. Cause look, like me and you said, when me and you, I was mad just like you. We was up 14 on Green Bay.
Right. Yeah.
We was up 17 on the Jaguars. We should have won.
Yeah.
That'll put us at 14-3. We'd have won the division. Look at that, y'all. And look at that.
Right.
We were 14-3, and we would have won the division.
Right.
So we would have played the stinking Giants first,
Uh-huh.
and had the chance to be in the championship game. You know what I'm saying? But we had video Keem Raheem. He panicked when it came to playoff time. Everybody know his play, and they told us. Tampa Bay told us the linebacker number 45. He got in that conference. Yeah, you know, we know what they was gonna run, and we know what they like to do.
Right.
And we just tread on their stuff. I said, oh my God, they knew, they knew our play.
They knew it, man.
And they knew our play. And I'm gonna tell you something. That's what I said. Philadelphia, y'all gonna be in a shock.
Yeah,
and guess what I know, Law? I know your boy on that show, the halfback.
Yeah.
You know, on that football show, that Philadelphia show. I mean, the Philadelphia. What's the name of that show that come on? What's the little halfback that used to play for the? He got a Super Bowl too. He went to Buffalo.
Oh, Shady McCoy. Yeah.
He up in L.A. I feel I be talking smack to me, cracking up. He like, Mom, we gonna see. He always talk about that too. He like Brandon, your quarterback. Y'all gotta go.
Oh, okay. So you bumped into Shady McCoy, man.
Yeah, I always say that.
Yeah. You cool with brother? Well, tell him, man. We got some. Look, tell him invite him on to the show, man. I got some words to talk to him about. But man, I appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna let these other callers in, man.
But good, man. And all I gotta say then to all the Cowboy fans, hit them likes for law. And how about them Cowboys?
How about him, man? Appreciate you, man. That's Marv, man. Yes, indeed. As he landed the plane there. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I got another caller here from the 678. You're live.
Hey, Long.
Hey.
This is Patrice.
Patrice, what's going on, girl? Yeah, what's good? What's good with you, girl? Shoot, I got the hat sitting over there in the corner right now. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Lord. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say. Listen, I just have a few things to say. Thank you. Thank you for being who you are.
Appreciate it.
You were the first content creator that I got connected to on YouTube.
Mm.
And then I went to both Cowboy and Landlord and the rest of them. You know how it goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So you're special to me because I've always been a Cowboy fan.
Oh, wow.
My granddaddy was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I used to watch football with him.
Shame.
When Franco Harris passed away, he slipped over to the Cowboys. How that happened here in Virginia, I don't know, but I'm here.
Yeah.
So I've been a Cowboy fan since 9 years old, and I'll be 54 in November.
Ooh.
Listen.
Yes.
How about them damn Cowboys, y'all?
How about them?
Let's have some positivity. I understand everything ain't 100. We got some issues. Jared make us drink. Steven make us want to fight.
Yeah.
All that. I know all of that. We know all of that. But we got to have some positivity. Now, Chop gonna call it like he said, period.
Yeah, you're going to do it.
And
That's
I
my
love
dog.
everything about it. Right, but I thank y'all, Sadiq, Flame, my homeboy. Listen, I met so many people that I don't even know that has become family.
It's
you know what I
family.
mean? And
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Last night you did your thing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I got two more things. Your
Take your time.
patience, Law, is out of control because ain't no way in the world.
Ain't no way in Hades, baby.
Be able to do it. No, sir. You get all the kudos because your patience. We be in the comments going at it for you. We got your back in the comments, but your patience is everything, right?
Well, you know, I got a brother that's a Niner fan, and I got a brother that's an Eagles fan. So,
Right, twin. Right.
so I'm literally every single grand moment with the Cowboys that been on the bottom end of it. You know, they hit me up first. You know, they done hit me up first with anything possible you can throw at the Cowboys way, and I was built for it. You know what I'm saying? This moment for all of those years, I was built for it. You know, boy.
All right, well, good job, Law. Thank you. Put that hat on out there, Arsenal. I let them know how we coming.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna let them know how we coming. We gonna be coming. I'm gonna have the hat. I'm gonna have my cigar and everything with the shades. I'm gonna be chilling. Yes, indeed. And I can't wait.
In the back of your hat, does it say nothing but the best?
It says nothing but the best. Let me see if I can grab it right quick. Here we go. It goes nothing but the best. I mean, can you tell people where they can get this hat from?
They wearing you to death.
No, it's good. It's good because I'm gonna create a link
okay.
and I'm gonna put it in the chat. If that person got you can just DM me all of that, you know, and then we can put it in the bottom of my page here, and we can send some traffic his way. Just on the website or the Facebook group.
That hot fire.
That's fine.
Yes. Okay, I'll do that. I'll send that to you. That hat is everything.
Mm-hmm. It's a logo.
Okay,
It's
I'm
what
gonna
it
get
is.
off. Right, I'm gonna get off and let somebody else get on. But thank y'all. I appreciate y'all, and y'all have a good day. Thank you, Sadiq.
That's Patrice right there.
All right,
y'all.
Lord. How about
Let's
the
go.
Cowboys?
How about 'em, baby? Yes, indeed. So you guys see this, and let me give a shout out to Sadiq. She's always giving me words of encouragement, even when I'm down. She's hit me up and telling me which movies to watch, and appreciate the ladies, man. Patrice and Ashley Baker and everyone that's out there that reach out to me throughout the days, man, and always giving positive reviews and things like that. And the nation is always growing. It's always growing. Everything is always growing in the best way possible. And let that be the last caller. And that was a great last call of the day. You know, I appreciate y'all. Stay tuned for more and more content throughout the day. I just want to tell y'all that this particular team, we're not the same team. I said this last year. We definitely not the same team that we were 5 years ago, nor 10 years ago. And Queen, yeah. I left out Queen Cowboy. You know, she's always here for the nation. If I left out anyone, charge it to my head, not my heart. You know, Branday, she always in the chat too. And shout out to her. She will be possibly out there in Oxnard. You know, we got a big family. You know, we just, I don't know. Can I trust y'all potluck? You know, you can't trust everybody, fool. But I don't know can I trust y'all, fool? You know what I'm saying? We got to meet up somewhere and have a potluck. You know, Cowboys potluck. You know, I'm from the Mississippi, so you know, if you don't know what potluck is, let me know. You know what I mean? But big family, can't wait to see y'all, and also the fellas too, man. Big family from you guys too. You guys support the nation, and all that you guys do. Cowboy Nation is always good. Yeah, don't you hear everybody cooking? Gina, yeah, my girl Gina. We got Gina with the J and Gina with the G. Both of them, you know. I can trust Gina food though. Gina, can I trust your food though? You know. Can I trust your food? You know, you definitely can't eat everybody's spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you got a cat. And you know, why that cat doing up on top of that counter? Oh, it's just a friendly cat. Nah, man, cat hair is crazy. You cooking spaghetti. Dallas Cowboy hard hitter, appreciate you, man. Cowboys, appreciate you, man. God bless Law. Go Cowboys, appreciate you, man. Potluck's the best, you know. Just record all of the cooking that you do, you know, and let us know. Let me know if you got an inside cat or an inside dog, you know what I'm saying. I seen one potluck, they was like, oh my, you know, Fido, he just like to lick the spoon. He like to lick the spoon, but why you got the spoon back out? You know what I'm saying? You just stirring the thing around with the spoon. Did you say Fido just licked the spoon? Then they hit you with, well, collectively, a dog tongue got less bacteria than a human tongue. I said, bull sugar. I don't want that dog food. That dog food after that dog and they licked all over it. But if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it and fret for it and plan, and lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength and scarcity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty or famish or fame or sickness of your body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want, even if it's a spoon licked by the dogs. If dog of the grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate you. I thank y'all for getting me where I'm at right now. You will get it, Cowboy Nation. Don't let that cat be on your table while you fixing these spaghetti. Or some banana pudding. Ooh, I want some banana pudding now. I got a hairless cat, dog. I don't want that cat either, you know. But I appreciate y'all, man. Continue to share this content. Tag a friend. Let someone know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy. I'm too burned up, baby. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. I heard what you said, Gino, or I saw what you said. Law need his own theme music. Damn. You ain't lying. I need to come up with my own theme music, though. But in the meantime, in the between time.
Give me my theme music.
Let go. Come on. Appreciate you, I Rock. Appreciate you, Amp. Appreciate you, man. $1.99 for your mom, baby. Who let the cat out of the bag? Yeah, that is crazier than cat hair. Cat hair be everywhere. Shout out to you, Gary. Thank you for the super chat. Zach. Amp. Dallas Cowboy. Hard hitter. Let's go. That's all I want to do is run it up one time for your mom. Count that two. Count that two. Count that one too.
Lately I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change.
I just be doing this the whole song.
Charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Revenue.
I be doing this the whole song.
I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with the
I had some theme music before, but it was more too cool. Y'all remember that theme music I used to have? Let me see if I can find it right quick. See if I can find this theme music. Boy, it had look good, don't it? Boy, y'all need to go hit up Patrice so y'all can get y'all hat, man. Come on. Just a shoulder move, man. Can't dad just move your shoulder. Let me see if I can find that theme music, man. Hey.
I never own no chrome. Too many foes and clones. Yeah. I be at home alone. I be in zones alone.
I be on roll alone. If you can pop up. Appreciate y'all, man. One love to y'all, man. That blue magic. Man, that blue magic go hard. What you know about that blue magic?
Kinda check a song. Lately I just wanna run it up. Count that too.
It's loading up. My theme music is loading up. See if I can find it, man.
Lately I just wanna run it up.
He said lately.
Lately I just wanna run it up.
Here it is right here. Who remember that? Yeah. Y'all remember that? Ooh! Get on up there. Get up. We're getting on up out of here, man. I don't want to be responsible for the next baby boom. The next nation baby boom. We gonna get on up out of here. We up out. One love, baby.
Take a drag of my cigarette. Breathe me out. Breathe you in. Yeah. Take a bite of my burger, babe. Save the last bite for you.
And you.
For you. Don't let the street lights.
That light finna hit Mike McCarthy right in the chest. Watch it. Oh.
You know it's dangerous to go alone. Don't let the street lights hit you. Could I be your player too? I'll follow wherever you go, whatever you do. Player too.
I ain't gonna do y'all like that. Come on. Until next time, DC for life. Gotta go grab me something to eat. I got a taste for some spaghetti. Let me know if you are a big spaghetti fan. And let me get some weird recipe of spaghetti that you guys like to do. Some people put ranch on their spaghetti. I like 3 cheese spaghetti. Fish, Lord. Okay, yeah. Some good old fish would go good with some spaghetti right now.
So far, if a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel.
What about some bread? Gina, where the bread? Where you gonna what kind of bread? She said fish, spaghetti, and coleslaw. Where the bread at?
If a paper crane can fly,
Some Hawaiian rolls. Huh?